Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. And today, I want to talk about the True Crime Book Club. A couple months ago, I said that there were some changes that were going on with the True Crime Book Club. Oh, Mel, the time has come. I can't believe. Mel is my True Crime Book Club partner. We started the True Crime Book Club together. I can't believe, Mel, the time has come and we are making this announcement. It's surreal. It's surreal. This is something that Mel and I have been talking about for quite some time. So, like I said, a couple months ago, I said that some changes were going on with the True Crime Book Club. And I said that I was going to come out in April and I was going to talk about what those changes were. Unfortunately, at the end of April, I started passing this kidney stone, and so the timing was not great. So today I am making the video about a True Crime Book Club and what's happening with the True Crime Book Club. Now, if you're a member of the True Crime Book Club, what you'll know is that we have built a strong group over on the Facebook, okay? And have had so much fun with it through the years and things like that. You guys are kind of, can you feel the hints of where this is going? Okay. We've had so much fun with it through the years. And as you know, we have not announced a book for 2025. We haven't done a live stream, I don't think. Did we do one in January? I don't know. We haven't done one. It's been forever since we've done a live stream talking about the books and announcing a new book and all this kind of stuff. So let's rewind. Be kind, rewind. Let's go back in time a little bit. For those of you that have not been around for the duration of this channel or don't know, years and years and years ago, I think it was towards the end, maybe the middle or towards the end of my first year on BookTube, which is surreal that I'm making this announcement because on the 11th is my 9-year anniversary of being on BookTube, where it all started for me posting consistently on YouTube. BookTube was my very first consistent YouTube channel. And so May 11th is my 9-year anniversary. So this kind of feels weird and surreal and I don't know. So anyway, I don't know when it was. It was sometime during that first year. I wanted to do an online book club. And the reason why I wanted to do an online book club was because I'd always wanted to join a book club. For those of you that know, I have pretty extreme social anxiety. I have really bad social anxiety. And so the idea of walking into a library or walking into a bookstore and being part of a book club was terrifying to me. And so, but I always wanted to be part of a book club. It was like one of my dreams always. I just wanted to be part of a book club. I wanted to go to a book club and share my ideas and read the same book as everybody else and talk about books. I've always loved to talk about books, you know? And so I started Peter's Book Club, which is completely different than Peter's Book Club of what we know now, okay? So I started Peter's Book Club. And at that time, it was kind of the first year that we did it. I don't even remember. It's been like 6 or 7 years ago. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's been 9 years, I think. I guess, because that would have been my first year. Maybe I started the second year. I don't remember. But anyway, it's been 7 or 8 years, I think. I think it's been 8 years since I started that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So anyway, I started Peter's Book Club. And we were reading a lot of like pop culture books, like cult classics, books that like I had like read or always wanted to read. We read like My Sweet Audrina by V.C. Andrews. We read At Christmas Time, Holiday on Ice by David Sedaris. I think it was that April, we read I'll Be Gone in the Dark, One Woman's Obsessive Search for the Golden State Killer by Michelle McNamara. We just kind of read whatever we wanted to read, but they were all kind of like books that were getting, like, had gotten or were getting, like, a lot of media attention. I think we read She's Come Undone by Wally Lamb. I had read that, and it, like, really had affected me in my youth. We read some J.D. Salinger books. We read Franny and Zoe, I believe. And so we were just reading all kinds of different things. Well, Mel and I formed a friendship that year because Mel reached out to me and she said, and one of my dearest friends to this day, you know, there's a lot to be said about, like, you know, online, you know, in what's it called, in IRL, in real life and online, stuff like that. But Mel has been one of the greatest friends that I've ever made in my entire life, let alone, you know, just a book club partner. So she reached out to me at some point. She said, hey, do you want me to help you with the book club? Like, I can, you know, do the back end of it and all this kind of stuff. And there really wasn't a lot to do at first because it was just like live streams and whatever. I don't even know if I can't remember if we were even doing live streams then. It's been so long. But I was like, yeah, sure. And so we like started talking and we became friends. And, it was interesting because I found recently, like, her very first message that she ever sent to me. And so, I sent it to her. I was like, oh my God, this is the very first time we ever, like, you know, talked, like, because she reached out to me. So I don't remember when it was. I think it was like that November. we were talking a lot about the Golden State Killer and how much we loved true crime. We both love true crime. We both love to watch true crime documentaries. We love to read true crime books. And so we were trying to pick a theme for going into the next year for Peter's Book Club. And we had thought about maybe doing like all classics. We had thought about maybe like just picking one person, like I'm doing with the James Patterson, Alex Cross books, which that video is coming soon. I'm finishing the last one up right now. My reading got a little slumped with being sick, so I'm finishing the Alex Cross, the last book for April up right now. We were like, let's pick like Sue Grafton possibly and do like all the Sue Grafton books. We had all these different ideas what we were going to do, you know? And then we were talking about true crime, and Mel, I think it was Mel, said, what do you think about just doing like a whole like year of true crime? And I said, we could do that. I said, but there's a lot of people that don't like true crime. And it was kind of a funny conversation. And you know, in that moment, like Mel really, like, I've always been something that, you know, very concerned from a very young age of like what people thought or whatever, instead of just leading with my heart sometimes. And Mel said, well, it's our book club. We can do whatever we want to do with it. People that want to read it will read it, you know, and whatever. And I said, you're right. Like, she's like, we're doing this for us to have fun. Like, and whoever wants to join along can do it. And I was like, you're right. And I said, should we just make it a true crime book club? She's like, yeah, hell yeah. Let's just make it a true crime book club. So that was the beginning of a true crime book club. And then, so we went into that year with starting a true crime book club. And which, by the way, if I could go back in time, we both have agreed on this. We would not call it a true crime book club. We would call it the True Crime Book Club. It's little details like that you think don't matter, but they really do. Okay. So anyway, so the first book that we read was A Stranger Beside Me by Ann Rule. Then we had this conversation. I felt like there's been a lot of conversations that have happened. You have no idea the conversations that have happened about picking books and whatever. I felt like we needed to read the canon true crime, right? Like the Truman Capote and all that kind of stuff. So we started reading those books, and I did not love that book. She didn't love it either. But, you know, every month was really fun. You know, in October, her birthday month, she'd always pick, you know, a mafioso book, a mob book, because that's what she loves to read. And I remember we read Columbine that year by David Cullen, and it really, to me, made me realize the power that true crime is not just true crime little paperbacks that you buy in the bottom row of the grocery store like when I was growing up as a kid. It was done so profoundly. It was just such a well done book. And then that summer, we wanted to come up with something fun, and I was thinking of the movie Son of Sam that I had seen. And so I think I mentioned something to her about like the blackout in New York City, you know, when the lights went out and everything like that during the Son of Sam killings. And we talked about doing a summer of serial killers. And so we started the Summer of Serial Killers. And we did that. And, you know, I think we're 5th or 6th year of doing this now. And other than, which this has been at the top of our list for a very, very long time, Sylvia Likens from Indiana has been somebody that we've always thought we were going to talk about, probably during like May for Mother's Day month. And also the other one was the Green Valley Killer, or what? Why can't I think of what's the Green River Killer? Anyway, but why can't I think of what the name is now? But anyway, Mel's already read the books. That's why we always kind of back burner that. But other than that, and like, you know, the 1001 books that are put out now, they're really, we've pretty much covered, like, we've done the John Wayne Gacy, we've done the Eileen Wuornoses, you know, we've done the Bundys, we've done the Mansons, we've done pretty much like everything at this point that we've read. And so I think it was last year we started incorporating true crime documentaries in that. But we would watch them as soon as they came out. And so by the time of the live streams, and then our timings was like her work changed and, you know, life stuff happens. And so we were having a hard time with like live streams and stuff. And we just say, okay, next month we're going to do this and whatever. And so, you know, we just kind of felt bad to the people that were members of the True Crime Book Club because we're like, we're not fulfilling our duties. So I think it was last fall that Mel and I kind of talked about, we've got to come up with some creative ways to like, you know, do stuff with the True Crime Book Club. But the problem is that we were starting to like, it was really hard for us to pick books. And I thought I was just going to get in here and just like announce what was happening. I didn't think I was going to lay out the whole history of it. But you know what? Listen, you guys have been along for the journey, so I'll take you along for the journey as well. It was getting to a point where it was really hard to find really good true crime books. And we've like read everything from, you know, the ones that are done well to the ones that are done not well. And in trying to find books that also honor the victim but tell the stories, it's more difficult than you would think it is. And so we were picking out the most random books towards the end. And in all honesty, one of us would just, I think the last book, the true crime book that I loved was Blood on Their Hands by Mandy Matney. And Mel, and she picked it because she loves anything about the Murdaugh case, and she loves Mandy Matney. And so we picked that book. I was so burnt out on the Murdaugh case at that point that I just was like, I didn't even want to read it. And then I read it, and I was like, oh my, I think I listened to it on Audible. And I was like, oh my God, like, this book is fantastic. Like, this is like, I'll Be Gone in the Dark. If you haven't read Blood on Their Hands by Mandy Matney, read it. It's probably the best true crime book that's come out, I believe. And I'm sure Mel does too, since the Golden State Killer book by Michelle McNamara. So we started talking, and one night we were talking, I'm like, are you kind of over, like, the books we're picking? And she's like, yeah, I am too. She's like, I'm bored of it. And I was too, so we were like, okay, what are we going to do? Because we were talking a lot about different ideas, like marketing ideas. What can we do to, like, revamp it? Give it, do something new with the True Crime Book Club. But the reality was, neither one of us, our heart was really in it anymore. I mean, we love true crime, but in picking books that not a lot of people are that interested in reading, we just kind of were like, we're not really into it anymore. And so, but we knew that we wanted to continue to do a project together. We wanted to continue to do some kind of book club or something. So us stopping the True Crime Book Club and not doing anything was never in the books. Like, that just was not. We're like, no, but we have to have something. We have to have a project, because this has been like this thing that we've been united over for a long time. So here was the difficulty. We knew that we were going to close down the True Crime Book Club. We didn't know what we were going to do next. But then I also had Peter's book club on the side. And so I was like, I can't do anything with Peter's book club until I know what we're going to do with True Crime Book Club. So one night, Mel and I were talking, and I just threw out to her, I honestly didn't think she'd really be that interested, but we both read a lot of thrillers. And I follow a lot of these groups on Facebook, the Psychological Thriller Book Club and all this kind of stuff. And I said, would you be interested in starting like a thriller book club? She's like, hell yeah, let's do a thriller book club. And that's Mel's kind of go-to answer, hell yeah. So I was like, are you serious? And she's like, yeah, let's do it. And I said, but if we do it, like, let's pick like, we're not going to pick like random thrillers from like 10 years ago. We're going to pick like the newest ones that come out, like right as they come out. She's like, I 100% agree with you. So we decided that we were going to do a thriller book club. Well, that greatly affects Peter's book club, because Peter's book club, I pick a lot of thrillers. Okay, so that directly affects that. So then we were like, okay, then what do we do with a True Crime Book Club, the Facebook group? Okay, so I'm not going to go through the 10 to 30 conversations we've had about this, but let me tell you where we stand today. Okay, so first of all, a True Crime Book Club, invented, designed, created by Peter and Mel, no longer exists, okay? We will not be picking any more books. There will not be any live streams. There was one night we were talking on the phone, and I said, I'm going to really miss it. And she said, I am too. She was like, but it's kind of like, we're just not that. I mean, we're not into the true crime books that we're picking anymore. It's really hard. There's very rarely does a good true crime book come out. True crime documentaries, fantastic. True crime books, very rarely. Greg Olson, like, we love his books, but like, I think it's Greg Olson, who's the guy that, anyway, Tell No One or whatever, we read his book. But it's like, he writes, the other problem is this. If you find a good true crime writer, they've probably written 10 books. So then you just end up reading all of their books, which we didn't want to do either. And there was a couple books that we never read. We wanted to read Parkland by David Cullen that run Columbine. There's been a couple, the Green River Killer, is that his name? Well, I can't think of his name. Anyway, we wanted to read that. And a lot of the people that we wanted to read about, there's not great books on. Son of Sam, the best book, is like out of print. So there's not, it's hard. And we were trying to like find books you could get on Audible, on Amazon, at the library. There's a lot more that goes into it than just like, let's pick a random book. You know what I mean? So we decided that we were going to do the thriller book club. So the True Crime Book Club going forward no longer exists. Okay, we will not be picking any more true crime books. There will no longer be live streams for the True Crime Book Club. But the Facebook group will remain. So if people want to post over there about true crime books, true crime stories, we are both moderating it. We're not going to just let people just randomly talk about whatever they want to talk about over there. But if it has specifically to do with true crime, we're going to keep it up over there. And part of the reason is we don't know that 2 years from now, we won't want to pick this back up. Okay, we don't know. Now, I can tell you right now, there's no plans to pick up the True Crime Book Club anytime in the near future. But we're leaving the Facebook group open because a lot of people have been part of it and dedicated, and I'm sure people are unfollowing it as we speak. But it's never really been that crazy active. I mean, daily we get new people that sign up to it every day. But it's going to continue to be active. The Facebook group will continue to be active. The book club will not. So then that brings me to the next part, which is Mel and Peter's Thriller Book Club, not the name. We're actually thinking about names right now. If you have any suggestions, feel free to put it in the comment section below. It will probably not have our names in the comment section. We've kind of gone back and forth with some different name ideas, but we're coming up with that. So here's kind of the plan, okay? Is that we don't want to rush into it, because with coming up with a True Crime Book Club, we literally put it together in like 2 weeks. We started with like a thread on Goodreads. We went over to Facebook. We kind of just piecemealed it together. This time we're really thinking about things like, how do we really want to do it? We know we want to do a Facebook group. We think we want to do an Instagram page as well. But we're also thinking about, have you guys seen those forums that are like, I think one of them is called Fable, where you can like, it's like an app on your phone, and then you can be part of a book club. There's a couple of bookstagrammers that have huge followings that do it, and I love that whole concept. I think it would be a more interactive way for people to be part of a book club. We both love thrillers, so we're going to be picking like the new thrillers that come out. We're going to try to like look at other book clubs like Reese's Book Club, Good Morning America, but make sure we're not picking like overlapping books they're picking, but it will be the newest thrillers that come out. And we don't know when we're going to start that. Okay, so I will tell you, because we wanted to put it together. I mean, this is going to be like, you know, your forever home. This is going to be our forever book club that Mel and I plan to do for the rest of, well, until we don't anymore. But we're not, like, this isn't going to be like this is something we will be continuing to do for quite some time. So we're giving ourselves till December, January to start it. We're looking at January 2026 as the starting date for our thriller book club, which, like I said, we don't have a name for yet, because we want to put everything together and be able to announce it. I would love to, like, you know, fly out to see Mel in Arizona and have her sit on camera with me and us present them together. I would love to do that. She's as much a part of the True Crime Book Club as I am. And going forward with the Thriller Book Club, I'll still do the videos and the reviews and stuff like that, but we really want to put this together so that people really enjoy it. And so we're trying to figure out a lot of different things. We're looking at a lot of different groups and trying to figure out what we want to do differently, what we like about them. So that's what's going to be happening with the True Crime Book Club. Is now going to be a thriller book club. It will not be on the same Facebook page. There will be a completely new Facebook page, Instagram, and then we're going to try to use, like, we haven't decided if we're going to do live streams yet or not. Mel's really leaning towards it. I'm kind of like, well, let's kind of see what happens with it. But we want to do some kind of like interactive like app, like Fable is one of them. There's a couple different book ones where you can actually have book clubs on there. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. So there's the news about a True Crime Book Club. Going to be now Thriller Book Club, coming to you probably January 2026. We may start it earlier. Like, if we have, you know, we've had a lot of conversations about it, but not every, most conversations that Mel and I have, and we talk a couple times a week, is not, I mean, we text every day, but we talk a couple times a week, is not about book club stuff. It might be about books we're reading, but it's not about book club stuff. So that will be coming to you. I will give you full notice before it starts. I'll give you like a month or two notice. When we know and we have all that stuff going into place, I will let you know. Which then brings me to Peter's Book Club. So I'm not going to do thrillers on Peter's Book Club because we're going to have a thriller book club. I do think that I'm going to start in June doing Peter's Book Club again, because a lot of people have reached out to me. I thought, well, maybe I'll just end Peter's Book Club, but I'm having so much fun with it. And if you don't know, Peter's Book Club, I literally just like post it on Instagram, like in a story. I do a video over here announcing it, and I do a review of it. That's all it is. It's just picking a book, and people are like, you're not going to do a live stream on it? Reese Witherspoon doesn't do a live stream. Jordy doesn't do a live stream. Good Morning America. All these people, they don't do live streams, okay? So I just pick a book. We all read it together for that month, and that's the book. I don't really know what I want to do with it, but I will tell you, so if you have any suggestions, I'm totally open to suggestions. It will be coming back in June. So I will be picking a book in June for July, or I will be picking a book at the beginning of June for June. I'm really leaning towards doing, and I know when I say this, there's going to be so many people that are going to be out, but the reason why is because I love these books so much. You guys know where this is going, right? I love these books so much, but also, it was a genre of books that I would never have read had it not somebody said you should read one of these, and now I'm in love with them, and that's cozy mysteries. So I'm actually, you know, I announced 2 cozy mystery series that I was going to start and we were going to read together last year on this channel, and I never read those books. In all transparency, I never read them. So I'm thinking about turning Peter's Book Club into a cozy mystery book club. And I don't know how I would do it yet, having concurrent series that we're reading, picking new series that are coming out. I haven't really figured it out because I haven't put a lot of thought into it, because whatever I do with Peter's Book Club, I want it to be really interactive with you guys, that you guys like. It's something that you guys love. And I know that there's people out there. I'm not going to do romances. Okay, I'm just going to tell you that right now. I'm not doing romances. I'm not doing westerns. I love post-apocalyptic books, but I know a lot of people don't. I think cozy mysteries are kind of a medium in between all of that. I don't want to pick something that I don't enjoy. So I don't want to do like, let's do, autobiographies or historical fiction. I don't love that. So I'm going to pick something that I love. So I'm thinking about doing cozy mysteries. There's a couple cozy mystery. There's probably like 20 cozy mystery that I know of, that I look at, booktube channels. There's cozy mystery bookstagrammers and TikTokers. Cozy mysteries are really picking up. So I love cozy mysteries. So I'm thinking about turning it into a cozy mystery channel. And then what I would do is I would probably pick the newest cozy mysteries that are coming out. So we're reading literally book one in a fresh new series, if that makes sense. That's probably what I would do with it. And if I start that will be in June, or announced in June to go in July. That'll be, but I'm totally open to whatever suggestions you guys have. So please let me know in the comment section below. One of the reasons why I want to continue with Peter's Book Club is that I've had so many people that have reached out to me and said, you got me started reading again, or I've always wanted to read, but you said this book, and I started reading this book and I loved it. And for me, reading has always been an escape. It's been entertainment. It's been meeting new people. I've met the most interesting and fascinating people within the characters of the books that I've read. I've gone to places that I would never travel, like Sinful Louisiana in the Misfortune books by Janet De Leon. I've traveled literally around the world in books. I love books. I can remember when I was a little kid, I've shared this story over here, so many times, that my mom would take me to the library and say, get as many books as you want. And I'd have this big stack of books in the summer on a rainy day. And she'd say, you're not going to read it? Yes, Mom. Yes, Mom. I love books. And so the fact that me just talking about a book inspired somebody else to read a book is ultimately how I feel when I hear somebody else talk about a book. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I want to read that book, And so I want to continue to do that. I want to continue to talk about books and read. I love nothing more than reading a book. Like my friend Nikki and I just finished reading the Life as We Knew It series by Susan Beth Pfeffer, and just talking to somebody about a book, it's so fun. It's why I love having book clubs. So I'm going to continue it. And I think I'm leaning towards cozy mysteries, but if you guys have any suggestions, please put it in the comment section below. So although this might to some people seem kind of like a sad video that we are closing down, shutting down, the clearance sale is over at the True Crime Book Club. It isn't sad to Mel and I. In fact, it's an exciting new beginning, and we are both so excited about it. We both love thrillers so much, and that's really mostly what we read is thrillers. And so we're so excited about it. We're so excited about doing something different, putting a fresh start to it, and doing something that we love, and we're really, really excited about it. To all of you that participated in the True Crime Book Club through the years, we are so entirely thankful for you. I have met some amazing people through True Crime Book Club. Nikki has become one of my dearest friends in life. Stacy came to a lot of the book clubs. Bunny would come to the book clubs. There's more people. Misha back in the day. There's so many people that we met through the book club. I'm going to get a little sad about this. It was wonderful, It was absolutely wonderful. As sad as I am that Schitt's Creek is over, because I would have loved 10 more seasons, to end and to know when it's time to end and change, I think is really a key to living life sometimes, that you just have to know that it's time to move on. And Mel and I both know, and we've known for quite some time, that it's time to change things up. We want to do a project together always in our lives. We love coming up with creative ideas and doing that. So that's going to be the Thriller Book Club. So it's an exciting new beginning, but I have so many memories of a True Crime Book Club. I'm so grateful for all of you that participated in it through the years, came to the live streams, read the books, messaged me about it. I will continue to say, because the Facebook group is up, I will continue to say, all caveat, I will continue to say, because I have a True Crime Book Club on my drama channel, you can guarantee that. And it has just been, when I started it years ago, and then Mel came on board, and then we turned it into a True Crime Book Club, I'm like in my head thinking about like Alex being like, well, you have True Crime Book Club today, and he'd go upstairs and watch a show while I was down on the computer, and Mel and I talking about what books we're going to pick, and people reaching out to me and giving suggestions to Mel and I, and I don't know. It's just, I've read so many books and educated myself on so many things. And I really, to be honest with you, through the experience of a true crime book club, I've looked at criminal cases and the victims of criminal cases in a way that I don't know that I ever would have had I not had the discussions I was able to share with you guys. And I'm forever grateful for that, because at the end of the day, it's really about the victim and their families. So, and I think that that was one thing that we stayed true to through the entire time. And I'm very proud of all of us that were involved that we did that. So, wanted to let you guys know what's going on with that. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.